Post time for the 7th is 4:05, and one of the visitors is Star of Yucheng at the top, has won 15 races in Macau. Beauty Eternal, 2 starts for 2 wins, course and distance. Circuit Stella likes to go forward, better draw than last time, he's got barrier 3. Keefe struggled in the 4-year-old series and then did some work last time when behind Beauty Eternal. 7 of these runners are out of the Beauty Eternal race. A Fantastic Treasure, 3-time course and distance winner, out to win the second of the Macau horses, has been racing over 1,500, a winner over 1,500 last time, so he comes back in trip. Turin Red Sun, a new stable now with Pierre Ung and Nellie Fines. Best form has been at Happy Valley. Pfeiffer down the bottom is the third of the Macau visitors. 3 starts over the 1,400 for a win and a third. Now the speed here, Tom. Circuit Stella crossed from 13 last time, so should easily lead from a better draw this week, you'd think.
Yeah, you'd think he should be able to here with that low draw. De Souza riding for Tony Cruz, and he was in it for a long way last time out was Circuit Stella. Beauty Eternal, he had a tough run in transit but was able to wind up late and win, but he should get a lovely run through with barrier number 4. Star of Yucheng shouldn't be too far away with Keefe, who was a bit disappointing last time out, but he did cover a bit of ground, so he should get a more economical run, and Pfeiffer on the inside. But there are quite a few horses in this race, Paul, that do get back to
Yeah, there are a lot. A horse like Red Lion, I think, will be further back because he's drawn wide as well. Beluga might lead up that third wide line because he's a horse that has drawn wide. Out to win, the Macau horse at the back there, he can be slow away in the starts. He's been slow away in a few of them, so that's why I think he's going to end up towards the back. Pfeiffer, the other Macau horse, he's a horse that can go forward, can go back, so I think they'll be positive here in Sha Tin. And Star of Yucheng, I think Yucheng will be handy. He likes to jump and run.
That's the speed map, but the focus has to be the horse that pulled victory from the jaws of defeat last time, Beauty Eternal, and of course he's going to be ridden by Zach Purton.
Zach Purton, Beauty Eternal is your ride in the Hong Kong Macau Trophy this weekend. That was another impressive performance from him last time.
He's done a really good job this season. He hasn't let us down. He's turned up every time, and he did that again last time.
This trip, 1,400 metres, clearly does suit him well. Unbeaten so far over the distance.
Yeah, last time he, coming back from the Derby distance, he took quite a while to accelerate and get into top gear, and he only just got there on the line. So with the extra weight this time, hopefully we can get into it maybe a little bit earlier and help him with the distance.
How's he coming on as an individual, Zach? Obviously, he's had this big boom on him, and as you say, he hasn't let anybody down as such. And do you feel that he's progressing still with every race that he runs in this game?
He hasn't really had, an ideal prep to his career so far, where we had to rush him to get him to the Derby. So he stepped from 12 to 14 to 16 to 2,000, and then obviously had to be freshened up to come back to 1,400 metres last time. And the way he got to the line, it looked like a mile might be his best distance. But here we are again at the 1,400, and it's probably the first time since the early start to his career that he's run at the same distance 2 times in a row. So he hasn't been able to get into the groove as such, but he's been doing a really good job, and hopefully he can continue on with that.
What about a pace perspective in this race, Zach? Obviously, is he a horse that sort of relies on a little bit of pace? I mean, it looks as if there might be some in this race, for sure, with Circuit Stella and co.
Well, that'll help him. Obviously, like I said, he hit that flat spot but got to the line nicely last time. So if the pace is on, that'll allow him to roll into it a little bit more comfortably, and hopefully that'll, offset maybe the shorter distance that he's running at again this time, that he might be wanting a little bit further again.
He might well, Zach, provide you with some very important winners, obviously. The winners have been flowing. Just wanted to touch upon the record. It's within touching distance, isn't it? What's your take on it at the moment?
Yeah, I haven't... I know if you look at the numbers and you would... the amount of winners I've ridden and the good winners I've ridden and the horses I've ridden, you'd probably look at it and say that I've had a good season or an excellent season. But I just feel like I've been grinding and I haven't really been going as well as I would have liked. A few of the trainers that I thought I might get a little bit more support from haven't really got behind me, so it's been a little bit frustrating. I've had a lot of bad gates. That's Hong Kong, right? You just got to deal with what's thrown at you. But I want to be going better than I am. Yeah.
Neck with Zach at Sha Tin earlier on this Friday morning. Let's go back to this race now, Tom, with Beauty Eternal winning last time. So many of them come out of this race. He was 3 wide. He was following Keefe. Circuit Stella leads up here. The Irishman 6th, and Fantastic Treasure really hammers home late.
Yeah, well, certainly some thought Circuit Stella wasn't sort of up to this last time out, but he never gave it away really, and it was only really the last 50 metres that Beauty Eternal was able to get over the top of them. You can see how much of a wide run Keefe had. The Golden Scenery wasn't too far away, and Fantastic Treasure with the Irishman out wider, Paul, but all these horses are also, a lot of them anyway, dropping in the weights here, which I think is going to be more suitable for a few of them too.
Yeah, definitely. I thought Red Lion's run was pretty good because he got a little bit crowded there as well, but a really nice win here obviously from Beauty Eternal. The Irishman caught the eye there as well, finishing off with the Golden Scenery, so I'm going to include those.
He carries £9 less too this week, does the Irishman. But Beauty Eternal, Paul, here he's a report card following a career spanning just the 7 starts.
Hard to fold, isn't it? 7 starts with the 5 wins. One of them unlucky and the other one in the Derby. So, look, he could, in theory, could almost be close to unbeaten this horse.
Yeah, and of course he was coming back from the 2,000 metres last time out, so hopefully he'll be that bit closer with a good draw this time round for Size and Purton.
Speaking of John Size, Tom, this is what he has done so far for the season. Struggling a bit in the stakes.
Yeah, certainly is. 123 million there, just shy of 124, but he's had 60 winners so far. He's had, I think, 11 winners across the last 10 meetings. He's got a nice little buffer at this point, Paul, on Frankie Law, about 9, I think, from memory.
Yeah, so look, it's his to lose at the moment, the way things are going, and he's got some nice horses coming through, and I think he's got some good chances on the undercard as well.
Here are those runners on the undercard, Paul.
Yeah, look, I thought Brave and Bold will improve on that first up run. Pin Sprints coming in fresh, has won fresh before. I like Midas Touch. I've really liked his trials. Diamond Winner's got blinkers on. Noble Ace is one that's got claims at the bottom as well. We've got all those horses like Beauty Eternal, Red Lion, obviously got massive chances. Bundle of Charm, Beauty Fit ran well last time. And I don't mind unpresuming on the last. I think they'll go forward this time.
All right, that is a look at John Size's runners for the meeting. One of them, Tom, is Red Lion, who wins this race. Circuit Stella 50 wasn't quite as good this day, but as we've seen, he has bounced back since.
Yeah, and Red Lion's got a light weight to carry here. He's got barrier 13, which is not ideal, so they just might be that little bit further back this time around. He got his head up at the start and raced next to Beauty Eternal throughout in his last start effort, but kept on. And prior to this was him winning through the middle of the ruck here. Fantastic Treasure was there as well in Circuit Stella, but I want to keep him safe in this race, Paul, with the lightweight.
Me too, yeah, I've got him. I've actually got him as the Quinella horse because I thought he was really brave in that race because that gap was sort of closing a little bit on him, but he pushed his way through it nicely.
We move on now, Paul, to some Happy Valley form. Cheerful Days better last time, running 4th at his favourite track, the Valley, but he's not the horse of last season, is he?
No, he's not, and this is a really tough race, really strong race, so I think he might just struggle in this one. He went up so quick, didn't he, winning all those races last season. He's just struggled this season.
What is going to help him is he's got a lot less weight to carry this time around, of 115 pounds compared to the 128 last time out, but he's not been the same horse this season, and I think probably just the ratings have caught up with him.
He's also in this replay too. Tommy runs 10th here, but Nelly Fine runs 3rd. He's a horse that's raced well around Happy Valley, but ordinary record so far at the bigger track.
Yeah, and he's a few pounds out of the handicap here as well. He's had a little freshen up since his last run here for 3rd behind Savaquin, where he was making good enough ground at the end, I thought. But in this grade, he just might struggle again, Paul. But look, out of the handicap is going to be tough for him, isn't it?
Very tough. 6 starts at Sha Tin, best is a 4th, so this is a really tough race.
He has trialled Paul up at Chung Fa. Here he is running 3rd, and he does find the line quite well.
Yeah, look, it's a nice enough trial. Look, I'd be more interested in Happy Valley. I just think this is a really tough race. I know he's got the light weight and everything. He comes into it, but look, I think he'll struggle in this.
This was the trial that was won by Mighty Stride, who failed at Sha Tin, of course, last weekend. He did cover a bit of ground in this trial, did nearly fine, but looked to be certainly doing his best work late down the outside. But, yeah, I think probably just wait for him to get back to Happy Valley. But the trial did look good.
That is Team Hong Kong China. On to Team Macau now, Tom, and we go back to a replay of Star of Yuchong winning and 5 for this race is in Macau. The race name was the Cincinnati.
Yes, it was over the 1,500 metres back on the 25th of February. And look, he's obviously got a good level of ability, this horse, but he's missed a lot of work since being here. He's had a temperature, a blood abnormality. I think he's been only on the track once, and he's got a big weight to carry, Paul. So all of those things, I think, ring a few alarm bells.
Yeah, and I think he's got the wood on Pfeiffer as well, so that doesn't really sort of help his chances either. That was 1,500. They run 1,500 Macau. I think the 1,400 will suit him.
This is not a whole lot much more than what he's done since he's been here, Paul.
This is it. This is it so far. He's just gone onto the track and had a look around. So.
And that was, back on the 10th, and he had the blood abnormality and the temperature on the 5th, so there's a lot of days there without any work, isn't there?
Far from an ideal preparation. Out to win here, Tom. He actually is promoted to victory in this race.
Yeah, some terrible interference by whoever was riding the horse on the outside to here in the blue, just completely carved half the field up, and Pfeiffer actually copped a bit of that as well. So it was a bit like bumper cars in the straight here, Paul. And he's had nobody pacing his couple of his runs, but look, he probably would have won this had he had that clear run.
Yeah, once he knuckled down. His problem is the starts. He tends to miss the starts, so that can be a little bit of a problem. Here's his track work. He's actually worked since he's been here in Hong Kong, and look, he's worked fine. He's arrived and no problems. It's just he's got a sort of his barrier manners worries me a bit.
There he is, completing some track work, and here's a Pfeiffer, Tom, on the turf track.
Yeah, he's 1,193 pounds. He's a horse that's had 21 starts over Macau for 5 wins, and you saw him in that video there. He was another one to get hampered in that out to win race, but just I think it's got to be tough for him too.
Comprehensive. Who's the winner?
I think Beauty Eternal, after all that, can win this race once again. Back at 1,400 metres, Red Lion, the Irishman, the Golden Scenery all come out of that same race, but better at the weights. 2:12.58.
It really is Beauty Eternal's race to lose. This one, number 2 on top ahead of 3 Circuit Stella. He'll be there for a long way again. Red Line, number 12, and give Beluga a chance in this race as well, a 5-time course and distance winner. 2, 3, 12 and 4.